is a thing called a money wheel. What happens at this point in our money wheel? This is the job, yeah? So what do you do with money at the beginning of the job? No, before that, well, you buy stuff for the job, yeah? So money's going out at this point. What happens after you pay for materials and you get a subcontractor to do work? What do you do next? Well, they say you do the work, right? Then what do you do after you've done the work? So at this point here, you invoice. Then what happens? The quicker you get paid, the better off you are. So you get paid at this point. So what happens at this point when you get paid? Money comes, money's coming in. Just before you spend money again and reinvest it in the business, what do? You take out your little bit. So out comes Paul's percentage. Comes out my little percent, pays my wages, pays my subbies, all those people. And then the rest of it goes back into the business. Now what happens if I turn this wheel? As I turn the wheel, what's happening? Money's coming out. What happens if the wheel stops? So if I said to you, hit my hand, and every time you hit my hand, I'm going to give you $5, what are you going to do? Mate, you'd be going like this, yeah? So the idea is to turn the money wheel as quickly as you can. Turn the money wheel as quickly as you can to get your share out. Do the work properly, invoice, get paid within 5 days. Yeah, not within 14, not within a 30-day period, within 5 days. You've done the work, pay. If there's no visible defects, under contract law, you can be paid.
I think that this is where computer software and a manual system digress. And it's a very, very good question you've asked. In a manual takeoff system, I would be doing my labour as a separate one-off task. In an estimating system such as builder cost, it has the power to be able to take from any composite rate in which labour might be involved and put all that labour and collate it all together. That gets back to the cost centre. Now within a composite rate, like a unit rate has a single cost centre, where a composite rate would have a multitude of items that have different cost centres. And once the estimate is completed, the software simply grabs all the same cost centres from different composite rates and puts them all together.
Back in 1999, the state government did a review of the building industry, and it was because so many builders, were actually putting an amount of PC amount of $500 to clear sites, and there was never enough money. There was so much outrage by consumers. That's where it became that you now must give a fair and reasonable price to do the job.
A start date or 7 days after all of this is received. And one of them is building approval. One of them is council approval. One of them is loan approval, certifiers approval. So that's what you do. You tick that box to say, it'll start 7 days after I receive all of this information. And that's where it comes from. Right? If you've given them a contract back there and you've given them the contract information statement there, that's when the cooling off period starts. 5 working days. If you sign a contract on a Saturday and you give them the contract and you give them the contract information statement, the cooling off period starts on Monday.
Pressure on area of elevation, single or upper story of 2 stories, long length of building, hip or gable ends. What does that mean? What I'd like you to do on the top of your page there, just above all that, I would like you to write single or upper story, long side. Just write it on the book as a cheat. Single or upper story, long side.
I hope you've enjoyed the presentation. I hope you're able to take what we've presented today home with you and add to the ongoing success of your building business. Thank you.